Teke Teke and the Slit-Mouthed Woman are two of Japan's most terrifying urban legends. Both are vengeful spirits, or onryo, wronged by humanity, and they wander around Japan looking for victims to rectify the pain they endured. But what would happen if the Slit-Mouthed Woman and Teke Teke happened to cross paths and battled it out to become Japan's most dangerous and powerful vengeful female spirit? That's the question we're asking today on Life's Biggest Questions. Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, the channel that makes any question into one of life's greatest. I'm Charlotte Dobre. This is where I remind you to show this channel some love by leaving a like, subscribing, and asking us a question in the comments down below. For those of you who need a refresher, I'm going to tell you a little about each of these urban legends. First up, Teke Teke. Teke Teke is the ghost of a young Japanese woman whose body was cut in half by an oncoming train after she fell on train tracks. Then, as she tried to crawl to the nearest train station and call for help, the attendant didn't help her. He simply left her to bleed out in the snow. Her ghost appears as only the top half of a woman, and her lower half is missing. But don't let her apparent immobility fool you. Teke Teke crawls across the ground quite quickly when she spots a potential victim, too fast for those victims to get away. While she crawls toward a victim, the sound she makes resembles Teke Teke, which is how she got her name. As a weapon, Teke Teke carries around a sharp knife or a scythe, and if she manages to catch you, she'll slice you in half so that you become one of her own. Next, let's briefly talk about the legend of the Slit-Mouthed Woman. She's also known as Kuchisake Onna, and stories about her have existed in Japan since the Edo period in the 1600s. Essentially, her story goes like this. The Slit-Mouthed Woman is a malicious spirit that was once a beautiful woman who was mutilated by her husband, a samurai, after he found out she was having an affair with another samurai. He sliced her mouth from ear to ear, creating a huge crooked smile, and then asked her, "Who will think you're beautiful now?" She died from the loss of blood. Her spirit is said to roam the streets of Japan at night. She covers her mouth with either a mask, a fan, or a scarf. When she finds a potential victim, she asks them, "Am I pretty?" If the victim answers yes, she will remove the item covering her mouth and ask again, "Am I pretty?" Then if the victim says no or yes, she will slash the victim from ear to ear so that they look like her. It is impossible to run away from the Slit-Mouthed Woman. If you try, she will just reappear in front of you. It is not impossible, however, to outsmart her. In order to escape the Slit-Mouthed Woman, a victim will have to answer her question, "Am I pretty?" with something vague or confusing, like "You're average" or "so-so." Then when she pauses to consider what you have said, you can escape. The Slit-Mouthed Woman carries scissors as a weapon everywhere she goes. For more information on the Slit-Mouthed Woman, check out our video, What If the Slit-Mouthed Woman Was Real? If Teke Teke and the Slit-Mouthed Woman came across each other, it's unlikely that they would allow the other to exist. Let's ignore the fact that both these beings are benevolent spirits that can't be killed, and talk about who would come out superior. The Slit-Mouthed Woman has an initial advantage in that it's easy for her to disguise her true nature. According to legend, she's often seen wearing a surgical mask, something quite common in Japan, so she blends right into the crowd. Teke Teke does not blend in very well. Her top half has sometimes appeared on windowsills so that her lack of bottom half is not showing, but for the most part it's pretty easy to spot Teke Teke. It's true, the spirit of Teke Teke only appears as the top half of a woman, but her weapon is a scythe. The Slit-Mouthed Woman carries around scissors. And let's not forget the fact that Teke Teke kills her victims in a much more violent way than the Slit-Mouthed Woman. She slices them in half. This would apparently suggest that she is much more vengeful, much more dangerous. And apparently the Slit-Mouthed Woman really likes candy. If you throw candy at her, she'll get distracted, which is when you can escape her. There are actually a lot of ways for a potential victim to get away from the Slit-Mouthed Woman. She seems like she might get easily distracted. Teke Teke does not ask her victims any questions. She simply charges at them. Teke Teke is far more vengeful than the Slit-Mouthed Woman. She has no remorse and cannot be outsmarted. For these reasons, Teke Teke is the clear winner of this fight. Well, there you have it. Did you agree with me? Did you not? Let me know in those comments. For now, I'm Charlotte Dobre and you've been watching Life's Biggest Questions. If you enjoyed this video, you will love our playlist, clickable on the screen right now. And make sure notifications are turned on by clicking the bell, and we will see you in a future episode of Life's Biggest Questions.